Hi everyone, Shelly here with the Gray Wren Nest. I look forward to showing you my garden again. It's been about a month since we did a full garden tour, and wow, has a lot changed. For those of you who have been following me, you know I had an accident in my own garage. Fell on concrete off of a couple steps and did quite a number to myself, and had surgery, and now I'm in the rehabilitation phase. I have to learn how to make a fist. Haven't gotten there yet. Just learning to move my fingers again, but I'll get there. I appreciate those of you who have stuck around and are following me, and I love, love, love all my local friends who have lent a hand, and my family. My family has been key to keeping this going, and just giving me an area to walk around every morning and afternoon and just take in the beauty of the garden. So follow along and I'll show you the beauty. It is Memorial Day weekend in May of 2025, and I am in Ohio, Zone 6B. Right now we're at the front mailbox area, and take a look at those Super Tunia Mini Vista Whites. Oh my goodness, they are not disappointing. They are growing in garden socks, and I will be putting up a full how-to tutorial on garden socks here in a little bit. But take a look at those. Now they will grow over the garden socks. You can see it starting to happen down here on the end. And then pretty soon you won't see the garden socks, and it'll just be a lovely mound of Super Tunias. Like I said, these are little mini Vista Whites. Then growing inside there, we have cone flowers, or some known as Echinacea, and I have 9 of them. All the way around here, kind of hard to see in the shadows. Right here and down this way. So when they grow up, they're going to form a nice border. Here's a picture of what they will look like. Pretty stunning. They are called fire finch. Just imagine them growing up behind those Super Tunias. And then I have Proven Winners Coral Jade Stone Crop Sedum, one on each side of the mailbox. And here's a picture of it in bloom. This is the start of the blooming season. In front of the flower bed, this flower bed here is in the center of the front yard. I'll take a big view here. These are drift roses, peach drift roses. And look, I have some buds, little rose buds. It won't be long. This one's a little further along. So I have 3 of them here. Here's another rosebud. But they get much bigger than that as far as the buds, and they go all over. See, this one's not quite open yet, all the way. But they have not disappointed. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I'm going into my 5th year with this garden. And the picture on the left is a picture of our drift roses. And I purchased these at a local garden center. The next roses I'm going to show you in my garden are Calypso Rose. And they are my top favorite. Wait till you see the buds. I purchased these Easy Elegant roses from Menards, and I can honestly tell you they are definitely living up to its standard called fuss proof. I don't have to worry about disease or bugs, and they bloom beautifully all summer. This is the Rose of Sharon. Look how nice and healthy. It has a long way to go. Not ready for any buds yet or blooms, but it's nice and healthy. Sometime in late July, their blooms will look like this. Here's my clematis. Some of them call it clematis. I call it a clematis. And every season we cut it down to about 6 inches from the ground, and it grows up like this and gets nice and bushy and full. And then sometime in July, after it blooms, I cut it down again and it grows up just like this and reblooms. Isn't that amazing? So pretty soon it'll have lots of blooms. I saved the tags, and it's actually 2 varieties. One's more pink and one's more red, but boy, is it beautiful mixed together. Now let's just take a moment to enjoy this bearded iris. It's called Clearance, and I have a full patch of it in my front garden bed. This is the season right now where it's showing off its glory. Look, look, look. It is stunning. And here's a full view of my front garden bed. This is from the backyard. These are false cypress evergreens, and they have that beautiful chartreuse color. I love them. Now they'll get big and wispy, but I try to keep them trimmed. And they'll get wispy. See, I let them get wispy. I just don't let them get overgrown and ugly. And they make a nice border. Behind those, in pots going up, I have Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Here I'm showing you the pretty border of pink dianthus that I have growing up the side in front of the bushes. It sure does make a pretty setting when they bloom. I just wish they bloomed longer. So this is the east side of the house. Gets a lot of morning sun. And these are my beautiful hydrangeas that are 5 years old now. This is Bobo. And we have trimmed these way back this year. They would probably be about 5 feet tall if we allowed them to get that high and wide. But right now we're trying to keep them manageable. And I would say this is more like a 3x3, but they love it here. So this is Bobo, and this is Little Quickfire. So when the Bobos and Quickfires bloom together, wow, the Quickfires will grow out first and bloom, and then the Bobos shortly behind them. But I have 1, 2, 3 Bobos, and 1, 2 Quickfires. Here's a picture around mid-June from last year, and another picture from probably early August of last year. So here's what it looks like from this point of view. And take a look at my Carl Forrester grasses growing. Oh my goodness. I think in the last video, close to like the 3rd week in April, just before my accident, I did a video. You can see my shadow, sorry about that. They were looking pretty sad. And now they're about halfway up. Love, love, love this. Can't wait for it to bloom. And here's a picture from last season. Here I just had some extra super petunias that I planted here. It's just an old pot, and I was going to fill the whole thing with dirt, but I know for a fact that these will grow huge and up and over and down the pot. So why waste all that dirt when the center pot is going to do a fine job? I'll show you what I mean over time on how this will grow and fill in. This is Super Petunia Vista Jazzberry, and there are 5 plants in this pot. Here's the star of the show. Doesn't look like much now, but you just wait. This is vanilla strawberry hydrangea tree, or a hydrangea standard as some of you say, with autumn joy sedum at the bottom. And it will bloom its head off. I'll insert a picture from last year so you can see what I mean. But this is on the corner of my house, and oh my goodness. I'd say in another month this is going to be in its beginning stages of full glory. This is mid-July, and then look when it starts to pink up, usually around August. Isn't this gorgeous? Look at this. I'll get up a little closer so you can see. This is Oh So Easy Salsa Mango. These are 9 rose bushes. They're little miniatures. They get about 1.5 by 1.5 feet high and wide. And look! Oh, the color is just so beautiful when it blooms. But look, they're covered with blooms. And behind that, I have my hydrangeas. These hydrangeas are little hotties. Going into the 5th year. Aren't they? Actually, no, these are 4 years old, because I did have Bobos here, and the Bobos, I think it just didn't like this side of the house for some reason. So I replanted them a year later with little hotties. But look, Japanese maple, and that's a little hottie there. But these will be in full bloom in a week or so. These Oh So Easy Salsa Mango rose bushes. Look at this one. Ta-da! Oh, so pretty. It's a corally peachy color. On the front porch, I have 2 Boston ferns. I can honestly say I'm a little worried about them. I'll post a picture of what I had last year and how big and beautiful they got by the end of the year. I'm a little concerned that these might not get there, but we'll see over time. I planted them the exact same way in self-watering pots, and I'm making sure that I fertilize once a week. But our weather has been extremely cool, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s this past week. And these ferns just don't like that. They like 50 and above. So we will see. They're struggling a bit. Get a little closer. You can see some of the brown tips. But on top they look healthy. So over time we will see. Here are my giant ferns from last year. Pictured as my granddaughter and grandson. They are at that time ages 5 and 4. Look how pretty this area is. This tree is 5 years old. It is a lollipop shape and it's a coral burst lollipop. Underneath I have Heuchera and tiny Quickfires. On the east side of the house I had little Quickfires, but these are tiny, so they'll be like 1.5 by 1.5, I think. I don't know if they get much bigger than that, but I'll keep them small. Now notice that green thing in the center by the tree trunk. That is to keep the rabbits out of this Heuchera patch because they love munching on my Heuchera. You can see I've got a tiny one there struggling because rabbits like to eat them. So I had to get out my handy dandy rabbit repellent sound machine. So it makes the sound and also lights up, and it does work. I just didn't get it out in time. Back here we have little hotties again. No buds, but they will be soon. So in front of our garage, these are self-watering pots that I did a video on. They're looking fabulous. These have been planted for a month now. This is Super Tunia Vista Jazzberry. I have 4 jazzberries in each pot. And in the center I have one white Gara as the center plant in each of these 4 pots. So this is the front, down at the mailbox, my center island, and then up around the front of the house. That gives you a perspective of what we've been looking at. So this is the south side of my house. And once again, I have Super Tunia Mini Vista Indigo planted in garden socks. Now, many of you might ask, why didn't you just plant them in the stones and the rocks? Well, let me tell you, I tried last year and swore I would never do it again. So I found garden socks, and I promised to put a video up of the how-to. But I wanted to get this garden video out, and the how-to video needs a lot of editing, so I haven't gotten to that one yet. It takes a little more manual dexterity, which I don't quite have yet, but I promised to get it up. But look at this. Aren't they nice and healthy? That tube is their drip system. And these beautiful hydrangea bushes are Little Lime Punch. So they will be a beautiful, like a strawberry punch color mixed in with these barberries. So there's 3 little lime punch and 2 barberries. And here's a picture of what they will look like when they bloom. And now we're getting into the west side of the house. This gets beating sun most of the day, but it's early morning, so no sun right now. Look at that gorgeous row. That nauseating sound that you hear in the background is this little man right here. Once again, trying to keep the rabbits away from the super tunias. It does make a large sound and makes strobing lights as well at night, but it works. These are the hydrangeas along the west side of the house. And can you just imagine the blooms with the purple in the front? Ooh-wee. These are little hotties. And I know I've mentioned this many times, but these little hotties never disappoint me. As hot as it gets on this side of the house, plus being in rocks, I can honestly tell you, they never brown. So I just think these are a real winner through and through, and these are 5 years old, little hotties. And here's a picture of them from last season. Notice they start to turn a bit green and then they start to turn pink. These are my peach knockout roses. And look. This is why I need to start doing videos every 2 weeks, because they're just beginning. This is them in full bloom. These are Limelight Prime hydrangeas. There are 3 of them here, and I will insert a picture of what they look like in full bloom. This was last August when they pinked up. Making our way down the hill, the stair stepping here is the Hoopla Vivid Orchid in pots, and it's a mirror image of what was on the other side of the house. So this is the rock area. This was a hill and we had steps put in to go down to the backyard. Now we're on the north side of the house. I'll show you this fine view. Look at those lilies. They're gonna be so pretty. All right, so this is the side of the house that gets very little sun. About 4 hours at the max, maybe 4.5. Up at the top, I don't know if you can see them. I can't through the camera, but I bet you can. I have 4 Boston ferns hanging up there. And then down here, the Hydrangea standards. They are nice and healthy, and I cannot wait to share my experience with you of these blooming. Let's get a closer look. This hydrangea is called Phantom, and it is from Menards, and it reminds me of Limelight. And it is underplanted with Hoopla Vivid Orchid. And these are the lovely blooms from last year. This is the one with the bird's nest. And I just wanted to show you the grid system. So far so good, growing up through. The grid system is a test this year to see if it keeps it from drooping. This is Pink Diamond from Menards, and it reminds me of Pinky Winky. This one also has a grid system in it, but look what I found. Can you see it? 2 of them, I think. Robin eggs. Robin blue. Little red breast. I have little robins flying all over. There's a good view. Mama's probably sitting on the perch up on my balcony looking down thinking, stay away! And look at this one over here. This gets the most sun. So it gets some morning sun and then the evening sun when it's on this side of the house. So pretty. Listen to the birds. And my backyard view, which of course is stunning. And that takes me to the beginning of our video along this side of the house. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.